Hello everyone, I am Phoenix Tremaine and I want to talk about Starbucks. But before I get started, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe to my channel. If you already subscribed, thank you very much. I really do appreciate you. I've got a lot of new subscribers. And now I'm trying to march towards that 10,000 mark. So, if you haven't come on board, come on aboard. I have lots of great things that's coming on my channel, from comedy to commentary to actually full-length episodes of my talk show. And right now I want to touch on Starbucks because it's dominating my timeline right now. And if you know anything about me, you know that I am very pro a lot of things. I'm pro-black, I'm pro-gay, I'm pro-trans, I'm pro-women, I'm pro the underdog. I speak a lot on racial injustice. I speak a lot on prejudice in general. And I'm known for taking people to task for doing things that especially hurt my community, but also hurt us all as Americans in general. And one of my Facebook friends who talk to me all the time, we tag each other and post all the time because we have a lot of the same common interests, which is usually injustice and political stuff. And he said to me that I'm really disappointed in you because you have not been going off on Starbucks. You haven't been your normal irate, angry black man. We need to get this straight type person. And my comments have been, very mellow. I said, I'm glad the police didn't kill them, abuse them, beat them, all the things we see in the media, social media especially, all the time. All the injustices that happen that make it hard, like, when I'm driving and a police officer car is behind me or beside me, other people don't necessarily tense up the way a black person such as myself would, knowing everything we know in social media, all of the things that have come out in media about the corruption in my city as far as the police department is a whole big thing, so I'm usually on it. But one of the things that has kept me mellow is that I'm a business owner. And one of my greatest fears is that an employee that I hire to do a job does something crazy, does something prejudiced, does something racist that could destroy my entire business and my entire reputation. And there were issues with Subway. You didn't boycott Subway because Jared was a pedophile. So my thing is this: as long as the business takes the proper steps to deal with the problem, then I'm not going to just go off to go off. So what Starbucks should have done is what they are doing. They apologized. They are the CEO of Starbucks, not even the person who owns that particular store, but the CEO of Starbucks is actually meeting with the two guys, and they fired the manager. They called the police. So for me, I've been quiet because I've been saying, look, if they fire the manager, they escalated this problem to that level, knowing that people go in Starbucks just to hang out like they would at Barnes and Nobles or something like that, and if they were not black, then it wouldn't even been an issue. And even the white people were saying, look, they've done nothing wrong. So they called the police and said they're loitering. But, and that was wrong right there. I do blame the police for the way they handled the situation. I know that if they were not black, they probably would have just been asked to leave. They wouldn't have been arrested. The police would have talked and communicated with them better. They may have mediated the problem between the manager and the black guys in the restaurant. The white guy that the black guys were waiting for actually showed up to the restaurant. They're meeting with me. I'm here. So it should have never been taken to the level of them being arrested. That's for one. So that's why on social media I did call the police chief or whoever it was that was representing them, saying that they didn't do anything wrong, and I said he was just a coon because the police are to protect and serve the community, and part of that protection is serving. So as a servant of the people, you don't always just go to the extreme level of, okay, I'm going to arrest you. Because if that was some hot white chick sitting there with her girlfriend, and, would they have locked up white girls? Would they have locked up young college white boys? We all know the answer to this, whether you want to argue about it or not. So I'm not saying that the situation wasn't wrong, because there was a whole lot of wrong in the situation. I believe the police were wrong because they didn't mediate the situation. Instead, they arrested people who were in a public place that typically people meet and congregate at. They didn't just say, look, now if the guys resisted and said, F you, we're going to sit here till our company comes, and just been irate, then I would understand the police arresting them. But they were calm, they were compliant, there were no issues. They did the black guys did all the things they were supposed to do right. And Starbucks as an entity, as a business owner, I look for the company to do the right thing. Even if the wrong thing happened, the next step is for the company to make things right, because that's good customer service. I've worked customer service jobs where people have been completely in the wrong, customers have been completely wrong, and businesses have bent over backwards to make them happy again, because the motto, the customer is always right. So these black guys are the customers. So let me start to wrap this up in saying that I feel that Starbucks are taking the right steps towards making this right, this wrong or right. It's not like Starbucks is saying, they deserve to be arrested. They're not standing behind the manager. None of that. So, what did Starbucks do? They apologized. They fired the manager. The CEO of Starbucks itself is meeting with the two guys. Now, the last thing that Starbucks needs to do to make this right, the inconvenience, the arrest, they can afford it, is to give these guys a cash settlement for their pain and anguish, because, it's going to, being locked up, you're taken from your life, you're taken with your family, your kids, whether it was a day or however long they were locked up. Nobody wants to be detained. You don't want to be detained. I don't want to be detained. So if a $1 billion company has an issue, the least they can do is give that money back. They can write the money off, okay? So and say, look, we're sorry this happened. Here is a cash settlement for you to be able to go back to your life, and hopefully this will help us make amends. That is the last thing Starbucks needs to do. So for me, Starbucks is taking all of the right steps. They apologized. They did not press charges. They fired the manager. The CEO of the company is meeting with them personally. And the last thing Starbucks needs to do to make sure that I don't become angry black man, pay them. Pay them their money. Everyone knows that's the next step, because there's protests and all these different things are going And not just in Philly, but all over, Starbucks is feeling the heat of what happened in Philly is now being felt in all of the thousands of Starbucks around the country. So, they were posting pictures of Starbucks in different places that are empty, that are normally packed, because people are avoiding Starbucks due to this controversy. So that's why they need to make this right. And the last step they need to take is to pay them a settlement so they can afford it. Now, I'm a small business. If I hire someone in my company that does something wrong, I should not be penalized because there are steps that I need to take. Do I fire the person that did things wrong? Do I apologize? Do I make the customer happy in a way that I can, in a way that I can afford? So, there are things I can do as a small business to make sure I can mediate a situation. Starbucks is a big business. So there are more tools they have to mediate the situation. But from business owner to business owner, you hire someone to do a job. You don't know if they're prejudiced. You don't know if they have issues until they display them. So don't blame an entire company for one person's prejudice or just their bad judgment. So that is why people are taking me to task for not being angry black man towards Starbucks when I'm angry black man to a lot of other companies. But, I'm a reasonable, rational person. And I would hope, and even though on my timeline on social media, people are not being reasonable or rational or thinking this through. There are people online saying, shut all Starbucks down because of this incident. That's insane. Okay, I don't even like coffee. I've been to Starbucks 3 times in my life and I got tea each time. So it's not like I'm a Starbucks fan. I have friends that act like Starbucks is Tiffany's or something. They go to Target and shit. To me, I don't like none of that. I go to Walmart, just like the average person do. I really don't go to Target unless they have something special going on, because sometimes Target, they have exclusive things that you can only, like, perfect example. I went to Target because they had Dose. You don't know what Dose is? It's the new version of Uno. There's a new version of Uno cards called Dose. And the only person selling those cards is Target. So yes, I went to Target to get some Dose cards because I'm having a game night, and I thought it'd be fun for people to play Dose because we a lot of times play Uno and spades and whatnot. So anyway, I'm off topic, but I think I made my point that if Starbucks had done the wrong thing and supported the wrong values, then I would be pitchforks and torches. Okay? But because I see them as a company taking the right steps to making this right, I can't be angry at Starbucks. I'm not going to go there because I don't drink coffee, and I can make my own tea. I make sun tea. You might have seen my video where I make sun tea. So I make my own tea. So that's that. So thank you for watching this video. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think that I should be more upset at Starbucks? Like a lot of my social media friends think they're like shocked that I'm not all over this. But I think I've explained very well why I'm not angry at Starbucks. So, but are you angry at Starbucks? Do you think Starbucks is doing the right thing and taking the right steps to making this right? Or do you feel like some other people do, shut them down, close them down, boycott, get the protesters in all of Starbucks? Are you on that side of the fence? Or are you on my side of the fence going, let them handle this the right way because they seem to be taking the right steps? So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I got my point across, and I may still make people mad because I'm not as angry at Starbucks as they tell me I should be, because I am one of those people that when I see injustice, I'm on it. Okay, I'm one of those social media people that, you know, people look to me. If you follow me on social media, you'll see people always commenting that, you know, they want to hear my commentary because I like to go off on a lot of stuff. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe.